So, welcome again to another episode of Erryting Kool. And I'm here with a guest. Today, we're going to make a whole appearance act. In 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness! The magician is here. The magician, Magaso. But before we get to him, you know what it is the niggas of Nassau, St. Antonio, Alexander, Lord, Jalen Wood at your service here on another episode of Erryting Kool.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to scare anybody.
The tourists come over to chill on the beach, but they don't come over the hill where we sleep. We got nightmares and they got fantasies. No sanity, it's just insanity. My mommy hoping nothing happens to me.
So, today we have a special guest. You cut to the guest, Chris. We got Chris on the boards in the back. So we have, please introduce yourself.
My name is Eduardo Jackson, and if you can't remember that, everyone knows me as Magaso 242 on Twitch and on Instagram and on Facebook and on YouTube. And then I also I'm the balloon guy, the magic guy. Yeah, magic man, balloon man, all that. That's all I do right now. Soon to be guitar man.
Oh no,
still practicing. I ain't say yet, not yet. Almost. I close to where I want to be, and by that I mean like this close. But you know.
All right. So before we get into sort of unpacking the man, the myth, the Magaso, we have a special segment called the Beaming Word Phrase the Saying of the Day. And we normally give that to our special guests. So take it away. What is your Beaming Word Phrase the saying?
My saying?
Yeah.
My Lord. I think my most I just say well motto is Rastafari.
Well, okay, that's what we never heard. We never heard well Rastafari. Because
like whenever something stupid happened, everyone to see it on my stream, I'd be like, well, Rastafari.
So for our international audience, please tell us well Rastafari. Or some people say, well, far right. Yeah, what does that mean?
I don't know what it means. I just heard someone exclaim that at the top of their lungs one time. I was out drinking with some friends and something happened across. I think it was a car crash. And the guy who was in the crash, comes out. I think the adrenaline was going through his body. He walks out of the car, looks at the car that he just wrecked, and he shouts very loudly, well, Rastafari! And goes back in the car. And they just wait for the police to come. I was like, well, mother. From that, I just started saying that. I was like, all right, cool. I guess that's, well, Rastafari, that's what we're doing then.
That's very interesting. So, the first burning question is probably where did Magaso come from? Okay,
so I explain. Everyone has asked this question. I don't know why people don't watch these videos that I put out. They don't watch the other stuff. But anyway, so when I used to work at Senior Frogs, right? I used to do balloons over at Senior Frogs.
Which year this was?
This was 2000. No, not 7. 2015, 16. I have to remember. 2015, 2014, 15, I think. Yeah. Was it? Probably. Or maybe it was before that. I think it was before that. So it probably was 2007 or 8, around that time. Yeah. Like when the guy who was the clown there, who used to do the balloons. You ever used to go in there?
No, I just started going to Senior Frogs.
Well, a long time ago, there was this guy who used to dress up as a clown. He had like the makeup and everything. And he used to walk around doing like balloons for people. His name was Enrique. Orlin, that's his last name. Awesome guy at balloons. Like I aspire to be like him every day because and he keeps telling me that I'm better than him now. I'm like, nah, not yet. I always say that to myself because I don't like thinking that I'm better than anybody. Not yet. So I always say that. But I liked his way of working because he could go to any table and anybody ask him to make anything, that was it. He had it. He had it. Like just like that. I want you to make this. All right, cool. There you go. That's what I aspire to be when I do balloons. So anyway, I don't get off topic. So while I was working at Senior Frogs, the managers there knew that I did magic too. So there was this Mexican fella there who used to work there. I think he's still there. He came back from Mexico now. His name is Celso. Celso was like one of the cool managers. And he would call me Magaso. And I was like, what does that mean? And he's like, I think it's a Spanish, because he's Mexican. I think it's either a Mexican or a Spanish, like maybe he made a play on words, but like in his language to say super magic. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, that's what he said it was. I was like, okay. I come to find out that Magaso is an actual word in the Filipino language that means that you're lazy.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, I'm like, wow. I'm not dropping it though. I'm gonna keep it. I don't care. But yeah, that's where Magaso came from. So when I decided to start streaming, I was wondering what name would I name myself. And this had been years. I had left Senior Frogs years ago, and then like that just popped into my like he used to call me Magaso. So all right, I'll go with that. Magaso 242, and that was it. That's how that came.
So you were basically you was Deku before Deku.
Yeah. I Deku'd myself.
Yeah, he was Deku before Deku.
Man, that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. All right, so tell us about some of your origins, because from you saying you was working in Senior Frogs from that time, and as of this recording, Cinco de Mayo was yesterday.
Yeah.
So yeah. But tell us about your origins, growing up in Nassau, like, and what prompted you to say, "Bang, I have a career in magic and balloons in the Bahamas"?
I tell everyone, and this is the honest to God's truth, I tell everyone that the reason why I got into doing magic and balloons is because, well, for one, I was enamored by being like magicians. I've been to magic shows. There was this guy named Uncle Randy who used to come to schools, like to primary schools when I was in primary school, and he used to come and do magic tricks, Christian stuff. I was like, oh, it was like, okay, all right, whatever. But it was magic tricks. It was like, all right, cool. So, but I mean, it was all fun. It was all cool, and I was just floored by that. Right. But I always say that the reason why I got into doing magic and balloons was because I wanted to do something that no one else was doing. What up? Oh, sorry.
As Chris trying to do the discreet.
Trying to escape. I always wanted to do something that nobody else was doing. Everybody was off trying to be doctors or lawyers or something or the other or whatever, and I just wasn't into any of that. So I was like, I'll just do what I want to do. So I started and then my mom took me to a magic show once, and I tell this story all the time because it should not have happened. It shouldn't have happened. I went to Crystal Palace. My mom took me. I was 10.
So that's when Crystal Palace had all them shows and
yes. This was the cabaret show where the dancers were topless.
Oh.
And here's me, a 10-year-old kid, and they're looking at breasts. I'm like, yo, what is going on? I was like, Mommy, is there something I need to know? Then this magician comes out and starts doing he has a whole act and everything, and it was cool. That took over everything. I didn't care about the topless dances anymore. I was looking at this guy stand on top of this box with this woman put him in, and then the woman covers the cape on herself, and when she comes back, it's the guy and the woman is now in the box. I was like, yo, that's pretty cool. But I just started like looking at stuff like that, like and then what's his name, David Blaine, started doing things on television, and then I found books on magic and like from when I was coming up, we didn't have USBs yet. We had floppy disks.
Yeah,
so one of my friends found like the PDF of like the one of the magic texts and whatever, and I was like, oh, this is how to do card tricks. All right, cool. And he put on a floppy disk for me, so I was like, oh, okay, now how do I? So I had to go by my friend who had a computer because I didn't have a computer yet, so I could go read the book and practice stuff. It was crazy, man. It was crazy, but I did everything that I had to do. Then I went to New York. I became a member of the magic shop, the Rogues Magic and Fun Shop. That was one of the best places I've ever been, and I think it's the place that actually formed me as a magician because while a lot of people just learn tricks just so they could do them, like going and being around the same people, they actually mold you into like what you need to be like to perform as a performer and an entertainer. So it was good to be in that same circle because I learned like what to do, what not to do, how to stand up on stage, how to not do that. And then I found after doing all that, I found like I had more of a love for close-up magic, which is like a setting like this where it's just me on a table doing card tricks and coin tricks or like tricks with like small things with like a semicircle of like 20 to 30 maximum people. And or just doing like walk around magic where I go to like, bar mitzvahs and wedding receptions and stuff like that, or birthday parties and walk around dinner parties and stuff like that, and just do magic to the guests and stuff like that. That's what I like doing.
How was this received? Because for those who don't know, this man, I wouldn't say out your age or nothing like that, but what kind of man you is when you mention certain things. Because plenty of people today know what Crystal Palace is, and Crystal Palace at its height.
Crystal Palace
at its height. I decided you talking about late 80s, early 90s to mid 90s, where they had those shows because by the early 2000s it started to wane. But understanding at that time, it ain't this time now where a behemoth is a little bit more accepted. You're talking about back then. We're talking about like 30 years ago. When people hear you trying to do magic, oh, he trying to be a next OBM man. Like, what? Like you had any pushback with that, or like, but you trying to do magic?
I still got people calling me though. I got some people that's calling me that for real. I be like, well, mother is dread. So like, there's this dude. Sorry about that. There's this dude who's a good friend of mine, and every time I do a trick, y'all just bleep out the cuss words, right? Yeah. He's be like, every time I do a trick, he's like, I know how you do that. I was like, how I do it? You saw. Every time without fail. Oh man, but no, I didn't have that much pushback except like from my parents because my parents didn't see the thing in it, and I think that's why I am such an advocate for avenues for kids to other avenues that are just that aren't solely based on academics, because everyone wants to learn. Every parent wants their child to like excel academically and do this and become the doctor or the lawyer.
You think that's a more modern take than, because I don't think that was always the case when you have more trade schools and people work more with hands.
Well, we still have a trade school. The only difference is we have
no
to pay
emphasis on it.
Yeah, we have to pay more for it because I mean, let's be real. It's either one thing or the next. It's either you let the kids them learn the trade that they want to learn. Like if they want to be a mechanic, like they could be a mechanic. If they want to be a welder, they could do it. You either let them learn it or wait till anatomy takes over and like autonomy takes over and like now the machines are doing it. Now they don't have jobs and now they can't work. So what now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because it's obviously the argument actually being in the creative space. There's always been this argument for the last, I say 10 years to where it's like, wait, why did we, especially during the pandemic days, like why did we move away from the blue collar work? Because everybody can't be the doctor, lawyer, this, that, and that, or whatever. But everybody, house need to get built. These things need to get well. Pipe need to get lit. You know, road need to get paved. And then this whole, you know, obviously the immigration thing comes into play and things like that. But it's like, bro, we need more blue collar workers.
I agree with that. I also think it's a situation of where like people are money hungry. I feel I'm trying to break out of this habit of saying that people over here are different. I always say, well, especially people over here. I'm trying to break out of the habit because I'm realizing more and more that it's not just here.
It's a global
I
thing.
know that there are some things that happen here that are
Specific
to us.
Yeah.
But I'm trying not to blanket that with everything. But I feel strongly that a lot of Bahamians, what they do is if a person say they want to get into a certain line of work, even if it's blue collar work, the first thing they think about or their parents think about is the money.
Yeah.
Or you can be a mason, or that'll make good money.
Yeah.
You can be a mechanic, that'll make good money if you work it, you know. And I just be like, babe, what if they don't want to do it for the money, babe? Like, if you think about it, like, I wanted to do this. I knew I wanted to be an entertainer. You know what I'm saying? And I knew it was in me to be an entertainer. So I wasn't really thinking about the money. I should have, at some degree, I should have. But I was only thinking about entertaining people. When I started thinking about the money, I started thinking about the money too much. And it was like, and it affected like what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? And then when I got to that perfect balance where I could like focus on the entertainment more so than the money, like with me, it's a hard and fast thing. I charge this much. If you can't pay this, then I can't do it for you. I'm sorry. I'm not giving you any discounts. You're not going to be like, well, you can't do it for, no, I can't because I got bills to pay too, just like you. So what you saying? No, yes, because I'm moving on. That's how I just do. And my way ain't for everybody. A lot of people just do things differently, but that's how I do things. But I think that everyone needs to get out of the idea of the whole money thing and just, if that's something that they want to do, the money will come. Like, I don't know if you listen to Pete and Bass. There's two old British rappers.
That was the first time I heard about that.
Man, listen. We can talk about that again. But
Okay.
one of them said something that was really profound. And I just heard it like a few weeks ago, and I wish that I had heard that earlier. He said, if you do something you like, it'll make you money. If you do something to make money, you won't make money.
Actually, I heard that saying before.
Yeah.
So because, see, when you focus on the money, you lose the passion and the work suffers. So that's why in my process, I had to start thinking about why my extracurricular activities feel like a chore. And it's like, okay, doing this to try to make it and make money versus just doing it because I like to do it. And when you change that approach, it can become easier and more effortless to do. But I think we focus on the money because it's always like, but yeah, you can do this, but this ain't paying the bills too. Or like you don't want to be a bum or, you know, whatever the case may be. Especially when you're doing things that are not the norm for society. Obviously, I know that because many things I do it's like sort of innovative to where it's like I never thought Bahamians could do. Fill in the blank.
Yeah. Oh man. That's one of the things right there. I think we have indigenous, like specific to us. It's like you do something and then it's like, I didn't know you had no Bahamian doing this, or like even me doing balloon art or me doing magic.
How did you even get into the balloon art thing?
I got the balloon art through magic, like, and that's a different story. One of my magician buddies, his name is Baldy. Baldy the clown is a big and tall man. Okay, he's like, if you see him walk into a room, you will not with it because he looks like he could put his whole hand on your face like Andre the Giant. But he's a cool guy. That's the coolest thing about him, and he does really awesome balloons. So I am by no way means religious, and I don't know if he is. So I just saying that as a preface to what I'm about to say. On the day before I was leaving New York at the magic shop, he came to the magic shop and we was like having a little goodbye thing because I was leaving. I was already there for like a year, and he was like, hey, I don't know, like, I ain't, like, no, I don't want you to think this is weird or anything, but I just felt led to tell you this. I think you should do balloons. Like, I know it's going to happen when you go back home to Nassau. When you go back home to the Bahamas, you can get all happy about learning all the stuff you learned in magic, and you can just go headstrong into doing magic. You can do all the things, but you ain't going to make that much money. But I'm telling you, if you want to make some money on the side, learn how to do balloons. That's all the advice I can give you. And do with that advice what you will, and that was it. So I came to Nassau, and I didn't listen to a word he said. I went right into doing magic, like, for real. But it happened just as he said, because I started getting, like, phone calls where people would call and they'd be like, hey, you just do magic, right? I was like, yeah. Oh, you just do balloons too? No. All right, we can call you back. Never call back. And I got calls like that over and over and over. And I was like, wow, this is messed up. So one day on one of these particular calls, I lied to the woman. I told the woman, yeah, I do know how to do balloons. She's like, all right, cool. So the party is Saturday. It was Friday. No, it was Thursday. So the party is on Saturday, and we want you to be there for 11. That's cool? I was like, yeah, okay. So now I hang up off the phone with this woman. I just lied to this woman and told her that I do balloons. I now have to learn how to do balloons.
In less than 48 hours.
I'm at my parents' house. There's no internet. YouTube just blew up, but there wasn't that much stuff on it yet. So I'm like, how the fuck I can learn how to do balloons?
So we talking about this like around 04, 05?
No, this was around. I came back in 2000. I came back home in 2008. I think it was 2008 because it was the year the New York Giants beat the Patriots when the Patriots swept the entire.
That was 07.
That was 07?
Yeah.
Because I remember that specifically because on my way home, everyone in the airport was talking about that. That's the one thing I remember. But I remember two things. I was sad because I was leaving New York and the magic shop. And that was going on.
Yeah, that's 07, February.
That was 2007?
Yeah, February.
All right. 2007. Well, the day after the game was when I left to come back home. So I was like, all right. But that happened in 2007. And so, yeah, that means I probably didn't work Senior Frogs. Now I think about it, I didn't work Senior Frogs until
2009, 10.
Yeah, 10 or 11. Yeah, one of those. So so now it's like, what am I gonna do? So I found this. I found Yellow Pages, and I started looking for like clowns or whatever. And I saw this one lady who was a clown, and I call her. It's like, I don't know, 7 going on 8 o'clock. So I'm like, all right. So I call the lady, and she's like, oh, you want to learn how to do balloons? I was like, yes. I just need you to teach me whatever you know, like anything simple, just 3 things, and that'll be it. So this is where I learned the concept of like respecting a person's like art and whatever, because her next line of text like floored me because we was talking on the telephone, like actual telephone, and she was like, I can teach you, but you have to understand that when I teach you this, you're gonna be my competition, so you're gonna have to give me $100.
Which is fair.
I was strapped for time, and I had the money, and I was like, you know what? Like in my mind, I was like, $100. I'm like, I guess so. Fine. I was like, all right, cool. I'll give you the $100. So I gave it $100, and we met in an hour, which was like around 10 o'clock, in front of the mall. I don't know if you remember, but around that time, that part of Kelly's, that front piece, that wasn't finished building yet. So we was in front of that piece while it was building. You remember?
You talking about when they went from the stacked to how it is now?
Yeah.
I feel like they changed that later though.
No, much later.
Yeah, like around 2012 or so. I don't think.
Yeah, it wasn't there yet. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like when they had to stack the stairs.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because you remember it was only that front piece of Kelly's. It wasn't that side part yet. Yeah. Yeah. That wasn't there, and she pulled up. Well, her husband pulled up there, and she was in the car, and I guess he wanted to make sure nothing was stupid was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So
it's
like
10 o'clock at night.
It's 10 o'clock at night.
And it's still Nassau.
So we're standing up in front of the mall making balloons. So I give her the money. She gives her husband the money, and then she has a bag of balloons, and she teaches me how to make the dog, the sword, and the flower, and that was it. And she was like, "All right, cool. I done teach you those 3. Whatever you do with them is on your own. Like you on your own. You got it. you got to go home and practice it. I was like, yeah, I can go home and practice it. She gave me the bag of balloons, so my $100 didn't completely go to waste. So I had a bag of balloons to practice. I practiced them. I did them over and over to make sure I remembered how to do it. And when the party time came, like I did the magic show, and the kids was like, hey, when I pulled the bag of balloons, I did like, ah, you know? So that's my entire balloon story. And I think one thing I've learned from that is if someone gives you advice, take the advice.
Yeah.
Like, no, I wouldn't say that right away. I would say probably do what I did too. And the reason why is like everyone learns by experience. You could learn from advice. Yes, you could. But you have to gauge within yourself whether the advice is good or bad. If you know within your heart of hearts is bad advice, don't do it. But if you know it's good advice, I would suggest you try it. At least try it and see what happens. If it doesn't work out, then just go back to your regularly scheduled program.
And that's what I tend to do. Back to the story I was telling you about the original people and the jumping trademark. I was going along both of them at the same time, but my friend was like, bro, that's you doing too much. So I staggered them by a year. So, and it worked because it was like, I had this brand blowing and then this brand flew into this and then this started jumping. So it was working. It's like, you know, because even in that, I listened to the advice, but sometimes people tell you to do something, but they don't tell you for how long to do it for. So it was that at some point I had to say, all right, I let some time pass. I'm not going to wait no longer and I'm going to take an opportunity and map it out and execute it here. So, you know, it's like, you know, even with your balloon story, it's like, yeah, I can learn this. And just in case if this opportunity come, then I'm going to execute the plan, you know. So it's just a give or take thing. So from the balloon story, I guess, from you learning the balloons, you start doing the party. So how have you been sustaining? Because obviously, would you say streaming is like a big source of income for you right now?
No, it's not a big source. I want it to be that soon. I stream on Twitch, but what I do right now mainly is I do a lot of events. But I mainly have a restaurant on contract. I have Margaritaville on contract. Shout out to Margaritaville, the one over the bridge, not that resort, not them.
Okay.
But I've been with them since they opened because the guy who was one of the managers there, he knew me from one of the other restaurants I used to work at, and he put in a good word with the general manager, and she was like, all right, cool. So I showed her what I did, and you know that was the end of it. Like I was there from then. He signed the contract. I drew up a contract. They signed it. We signed together. Photocopy it. She had hers. I got mine, and that was the end of that. And I've been there ever since.
Because, you know, your story is basically that one-off. You've been basically working for yourself full-time the last 15 years.
Yeah.
So, like, just break down sort of like, okay, because after this first gig, like, when it started picking up to where you be like, but I ain't gonna lie, I got a sweet gig, and, yeah, I'm going through the trials and errors of being an entrepreneur, even almost before entrepreneur became a buzzword. And like dealing with that, as well as being in the Bahamas through the various climates, because the digital boom didn't happen until like 2012, 2013. So you come in like 5 years before the takeoff. So take me through that whole process of transversing those years and having the craft and adapting with the incoming technology and the consciousness of the public sort of slightly shifting a little bit as time passed.
For me, I would say as much as technology has progressed, it actually has helped me rather than hinder me. Because before when I was starting, the only way you could advertise was the yellow pages, and you had to pay for that. Like you had to, and then it was there, but it was in a book. People ain't gonna look at like all through that, you know. Yeah. There was another guy who's a magician, is Chris. He used to be in the yellow pages. I don't think he does it anymore. But he used to pay for the ad in the yellow pages. Me and him still cool or whatever. But I told him that like I'm never gonna pay for the yellow pages. I can't do that. So I would have to advertise by word of mouth, like when I was first starting. Like, and then people, as I did more events and gigs, people would say like, "Oh, that's the Magic Man. That's Eddie over there. Okay, all right, we gotta." And from then Facebook became a thing. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I could advertise on Facebook. And that's what and then I've been doing that, and I have my own page where I like show everything on Facebook, all the stuff that I do. So that has helped. That was one of the biggest things for me, like with the onset of the technological age, the information age, I say, because it was really good. And from that, it was like after like my last job where I punched the clock was Senior Frogs, because that was my job. Like that was the job there. I had to come there and make balloons. That was the job. But I just did, like, me and one of the managers had a little falling out. So I was like, all right. And I think it was at that point I realized, I was like, listen, I know what to do. I can probably just pitch this to other restaurants and do this myself. So that's what I did. I started, like, I did the Sharkies one time. I did, I used to be, I don't know if you remember Bennigan's.
Yeah.
I used to be doing magic.
When Bennigan's at the mall? Or?
Yeah, the one at the mall.
Okay.
Yeah. When it was Bennigan's, I that was my first gig. My first restaurant gig was Bennigan's. I used to do magic in Bennigan's on Kids Eat Free nights on Tuesdays.
Okay.
And I loved that place. I loved it. It was a great place, and then they closed down. And that was the end of that. But it was so much, it was so good. And I don't know what it is. I think it's a thing with, like, and I would tell everyone, like, to try and exercise this, like, try and exercise the way you be around people. Like, I would, like, or how you interact with people, because that's what makes things memorable. Because it's like, I had situations in every place that I've worked, be it Bennigan's, I did Sharkies, I did now I do in Margaritaville, and then I will even at Senior Frogs. I was like people would be like, they leaving like reviews on TripAdvisor and stuff saying that, oh, we came here to see the balloon guy, or we came here to see the magic man, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? There was even a couple of times when like if I was like out sick on a Tuesday on Kids Eat Free night at Bennigan's, and people came to Bennigan's, like it was like so bad, like if they found out that I wasn't there, they just left. They're like, oh, the magic man in there? All right, we don't need to be here anymore. I'm like, well, y'all could at least stay and eat the food, you know what I'm saying? Jesus. Don't do me like that. But I think, like, if people remember you because of something that the qualities that you have, like the way you carry yourself, the way you talk, the way you interact with people, like how your mannerisms, like the way you entertain them. And I think that's one of the most important things to learn as an entertainer. Like you have to put, I think that's one of the most struggling things you have to learn as an entertainer, to put what you do on the side and learn how to entertain people. You'd be like, yeah, you know how to do magic. Yes, you know how to make balloons. Now, can you entertain them? Like, well, like when you're making the balloons, what are you doing? Are you just making the balloon? Or are you talking to the people? Are you making them laugh? Or are you talking about something, you know? Or are you just standing there? When you're doing a magic trick, are you just doing the magic trick? Or are you doing it like with like some kind of story involved? Like are you telling a joke in the middle of it? Are you being personable or something like that? Or are you just doing the trick, just, you know? And I think that's one of the hardest things to learn for people. I won't single out Bahamians on that. I think that is a hard thing to learn. Because
especially with it always comes back to this whole thing of people may not remember your name, but they remember how you make them feel. Mm-hmm. So you know, it's like, you know, because I always have this rule of thumb of all anybody ever needs is a words of encouragement. So sometimes people might be in a mood and you talk to them and making jokes sort of brighten up their day and see the positivity of this existence. Yep. So having that conversation, because even like back in the day, like bartenders used to be like that. People come out with stress. Yeah. Oh. And there used to be a conversation.
Man, I miss those days. Like we don't have bartenders that do that anymore.
No.
We really don't. They'd be like, what you got?
Yeah.
Yeah? Alright.
But
I'd be like, yo, come on, man. It's be so boring, man. I'd be like, yo. Like there's be like and you know what's killing me? I saw a situation where I was in a bar. I see one guy and I look at him and he walk in the bar like something was on his mind and it was tearing him to pieces. He plopped down in that chair and he was like, and the guy just walk up, what you drinking? The boy said, we going Erryting Kool. He's like, all right, cool. He just mix it and hand him it. And the way this guy look at him, he look at him like, this dude ain't even say nothing to me, Dread. And I was like, boy, something tell me, I was like, boy, say something to this guy, because this dude look like he about to pop off or something. I was like, dude, you all right, boy? You look like you walk in with your head heavy, man. Come to find out he had like a situation with his parents and stuff, and he was feeling like bad about it. I won't bring up the man business. Yeah. But you know, he was like really like distraught about it. Like it was affecting his like work and it was affecting his like marriage and stuff. And I was like, hey. So I talked to him like, man, you can't let your parents like you done married, babe. You can't let them like do stuff like that. You gotta, you know. I ain't trying to tell you what to do, but at the same time, look at where you is right now. Babe. You look like you about to tear that dude head off now. So man, I just want you to be encouraged, babe. Do whatever it is you need to do, but just take care of yourself, right? All anybody needs. Man, I think that helped. It might not have been the thing, but I think it helped in a good direction. And I wish like that bartender said something to him, babe. But I don't know. People. I think we've moved into this era where like. We've moved into a weird place. We've moved into where, like, there are people who now realize that they have the power to say that they want to be left alone, so they abuse that power and say they want to be left alone. But when it comes to them needing someone, whenever they need someone, they've already told everyone to leave them alone. So because we're now leaving them alone and they need someone now, they're in a situation where they need someone, they're now angry that no one wants to talk to them.
I feel like I struggle with that a lot, to where it's like sometimes I want to be left alone, but then sometimes I want to feel like people checking on me or whatever. Yeah. So someone's trying to balance those two emotions.
There is a way to balance it, and each way is different for different people. I like when friends like come over, or if they message me and check, see if I'm okay, you know. If I'm out somewhere and I see someone, I'd be like, okay, good to see you, man. But you know I have my moments where I just want to be by myself, and I love those moments. And I don't use those moments. I try not to use those moments to sulk. I use those moments to try and make myself like either a better version of myself, or just to be happy, or just to do whatever I want. You know, like I always say, one of the real tests in life, in order to learn to love yourself, is to go to the movies by yourself.
I do that quite frequently.
You'll be so shocked how many people can't go to the movies by themselves. They'd be like,
they'd be like, you weird, you okay?
You was a loser. I look like a loser. I just be like, boy, you can't go to the movies by yourself. You have to go with someone. Yeah. Is it that serious for you? You can't just watch a movie by yourself. But you know what it is? You know what I look like? I'm walking in the movies, going there by myself. Like,
but I have done that so many times. The way that's a hobby. Like, hey,
I just went to watch John Wick 4 by myself. Like Wednesday on, I was like, man, oh Jesus!
I feel like that's deep. Well, I don't know if that's because I'm a filmmaker. So yeah. If depending on the type of movie, I rather watch it by myself because I'm gonna break it down in my head. So I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, I find like doing things, or people can't go out by themselves. Like me nowadays, I could go. Like I was just telling someone last night, I'm like, bro, me and my stage now, because we live in Nassau and because I am who I am, people know who I is. So I don't have a problem with, oh, you have an event, I pulling up by myself.
Exactly.
I can walk in, have a conversation because I know how to strike conversation, even though I don't know you. I have a great time and leave by myself. Yep. So, you know.
I'm the same way. I can't do the whole, I have to wait on such and such so that we could all go out together. I'd be like, why am I doing that? I like, listen, I go on such and such. If you won't come, I could be out there, meet me out there. I ain't waiting on nobody. I just go by myself. I'd be like, man, come on, man.
Yeah, but I think we live in an antisocial climate to where everybody isn't a great conversationalist. Like, you can't, if you tell someone, go somewhere by yourself, you ain't know nobody, be there for 4 hours. They can't do it.
Be there for one. I'd start with one. Because I want to agree with you on that.
Nah.
I think that I think that's the way you weed out the different sets of people, because there are some people who know, they might not know how to have a proper conversation, but they know how to be personable and friendly. So they can go in public with different people who they don't know and try and be, jovial and talk to them or whatever. The only difference is like I said previously, the climate that we're in, it's like, that's now harder to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people don't want to like approach you, or like people don't want you to approach them or anything like that. Like people just want them to be left alone. Like, and I'm not saying this like in terms of like women want to be left alone or men want like I'm saying this like people in general, they just want to be left alone. And I'd be like, okay, so I'll just be right over here. I know how to talk to people, and if the need arises or if it strikes me, I'll go talk to some people. But I'm just saying it's a little bit harder to do nowadays. That's all.
Yeah. I sort of see that. So during this whole time, what you was calling yourself before Magaso?
I was under the name Ian Black. That was my stage name. I got that name because I didn't like it. Ian is the last 3 letters in the word magician, and I like the color black because I black too. So, so that's what I called myself. But then I found out that there was another entertainer who was a comedian named Michael Ian Black. And I was like, wow, I don't want to be mixed up with someone else. And then I realized that my name, my actual name at World Accent was like a one-of-a-kind name. So I just kept my name. I dropped the moniker and I just use my name. I let people call me Eddie, but I like whenever people introduce me, they introduce me by my full name because I like that. Then Magaso is only for like, social media and Twitch and all that stuff. That's all that's for.
Okay, so before we go into streaming, because I got a lot to ask about the streaming.
Yeah.
What's the magician? Is there a magician society in the Bumpers?
No.
Why is that?
Man. Oh, man.
Let's get into it.
This getting heavy. Any water? I got water. Y'all have water?
We gotta check the fridge. We probably ain't have water, but we have something else to drink. Juice?
Juicy.
Yeah.
I'll take some juice then. There is no magician community in the Bahamas, and I'll tell you why. The magicians here, one of them, I won't say all of us, because all of us cool with each other, but everyone, we're all cool with each other, but we're not cool enough to try and get together. Especially one of us. Like, he tried to get us together, and then I can't put my finger on it, and I don't want to say too much to like make it seem as if I'm like either like making noise uselessly or anything like that. But I think it's a situation where he felt as if we was stealing like material from him, and we were just doing certain tricks that look like his, like some of us, but we weren't stealing his like routines and acts or whatever. And he had this thing of like cutting people off. But I think all in all, the same thing that happened like with the lady who charged me $100 to make the balloons. Instead of doing that, everyone just thinks that, oh, this person's gonna be my competition. I want to make all the money, so no, I good. Because when I was trying to learn how to do magic, I tried to go to each of them, and one of them helped me, and they did like some stuff for me, but I had to make sure that, but I had to pay him so I can learn some things. I got some videos from him, some VHS. I don't know if you remember VHS. I had to buy some VHS videos from him to learn some stuff, and then I did learn things, and it was pretty cool. So we've just never gotten a chance to get together, sit down, all of us, and say, hey, let's just do something like that over here, because I think all of us, that part aside, I think all of us have our own things going for us right now, and all of us are just really I guess all of us still trying to make it in our own way. I personally don't have an issue teaching someone how to do magic, but at the same time, I understand that an art is something that you have to like you have to show. I think what it is with the art of magic, you have to show the person, the magician, that you are interested by doing something, by doing some work, and then I have to see that you've been doing that work. And then after I see it, be like, okay, well, yeah, let me show you how to do this properly or whatever like that. That's how it works for me. I wouldn't just pick up some young guy off the street and be like, yeah, let me show you how to do a magic trick. Because whenever people just be like, oh, you can't teach me how to do any magic tricks, the only thing they just want to do is impress gals, impress their boys, like show them that they know how to do the trick, and then that's it. They ain't trying to make a career out of it. They ain't trying to become an entertainer.
But that could be somewhat of a market, though.
What do you mean?
For people to learn magic trick just for...
That's what magician kits are for. Magic kits are for people who
just want to do recreation.
I could teach you how to do the cups and balls. I could teach you how to do like the sponge balls. I could teach you how to do this one coin trick where you do this couple of card tricks in this book you could learn or whatever. That's what those are for. Now, it's after they take what they learn from that and try and do more stuff that they ain't have in there, that's when you be like, all right, now this guy is serious. You know what I'm saying? That's why a lot of people don't teach magic to people like that.
So, like, have you
sorry about that.
have you had any opportunities to perform, like, do magic shows at like some of the hotels?
Yes. Me and Chris did, well, all of us have performed at hotels before. Not together, but like we have never had a situation where we performed together. Like all of us, I mean. Me and Chris, however, we did a free magic show, and we had it in Bistro Underground, and it was on. It made like, I want to say it was news, but it was a TV show that was on. It was a show that was on TV. It looked like it was a news thing, or maybe it was like talking about all the things that happened in the week. But we had a free magic show that was at Bistro Underground.
Man, shout out to Underground. Like they haven't opened back up since the pandemic.
I think they're done. They're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think someone else purchased the other place. I would love for them to open back up.
I loved it with Underground.
Amy was a godsend, man. She was like, I loved how she opened that space to anyone who wanted,
like
anyone who wanted to do
nights.
something. Yeah. Everything. If you wanted to do anything, you could do it there. I loved that. I really did. I thought it was pretty cool. But we had a free magic show there. You didn't have to pay to get in. But at the end of the show, we did this. Like I did this funny little speech, and I had like a bucket to make it, to make it sound like we poor and we need money, And I would just pass the bucket around. If you wanted to put something in there, you could. But we just did that, and we didn't do it for the money. We just did it because we didn't have nothing else to do. We had our gigs and whatever, and Chris works and all that, but we loved doing that. And I was like, babe, and we was coming up with ideas while we was doing it. We were like, babe, we could have like the other guys come and see if they could do something. I had my friend who was learning how to do magic come and do something one that night. I was like, that was pretty cool. Listen, man, those were some fun nights. Those were really fun nights. And then the damn club opened up there at the end of the street. What it is? The one where Geek Out does be sometimes.
Are you talking about Prime Time? Not Prime Time. Climax.
Yeah.
And Escape.
Yeah. They did open, and I was like, well. And people just started going there. There was a situation where we was doing a show, and it was like empty. And people came in there thinking that it was Escape. And they was like, oh, this ain't Escape. Oh, we gotta go then. All right. I think they looking at a magic show, but it was what it was. It ran its course. So I want to do something like that again. But if I was to do something, and that's why I think, to me personally, I think that show was an experiment. I want to say it was an experiment, and I can tell you why. We ran the roll with that. We paid for advertisements on Facebook. We shared it out to different people. Chris is a graphic designer. Shout out to Chris, the Baja Magician. Chris made a poster. We had flyers. We sent that everywhere. The first night, it was packed in there. It was so packed No lie. Hand to God, you could ask anyone. It was so packed in there that it started to get hot down there. So hot that one gal passed out from heat.
Oh, wow.
In the back. I swear to you. We was like, is she alright? We were like, yo. Oh, but anyway. So we did everything. We did all the advertising. We had people come out. So the show was free because Bahamians like free things. The show was downtown, which was a good area, and there was lots of places to park out downtown, and you could just come there. So for the first couple of nights we had that show, it was great. We did like our own advertising. We like did videos and we blasted them on Facebook and Instagram and all that. And then people just stopped coming.
So y'all was doing this on a nightly basis?
Yeah, not nightly. It was one night a week. It was one night.
Yeah, with Bahamians, they just be everything by quick, just like how IOP open. I bet you by the time
IOP still full.
Yeah, I bet you by the time this time next year, go see how that line looks.
Oh yeah. So, but that's the thing though. Everyone keeps saying, "Man, why we don't have things like this in Nassau?" I was like, we had one.
Yeah.
Y'all just don't come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But how much it was charged? It was free. Like no one could come to me with anything. We all had it downtown. You know?
Yeah.
He's complaining, last one so boring. Last one so boring. Last one best. Every week.
The
same again?
Yeah.
Drinking, screaming.
Yeah. But see, that's the thing. I think it's they like what they like, and you can't break that cycle. And I was like, babe, we had it in a bar.
Because that's
had it in a bar.
Down there in Bistro, literally, as you walk down the stairs,
we had it in the bar.
Circle around and then this thing.
There is nothing that anyone could come to me with about that show because we did everything. We had advertisements. We had a spot on TV. We had people who was from the news come and interview us about it. I think
probably if y'all just had one show a month, it'll probably stretch out.
Probably. But man, I don't know, because we had so much ideas and we would love to do that again. I keep talking to Chris. And every now and then, I swear to you, Chris will either send me a video from like one of the memories of us doing the show. Yeah. Or I'll send him one and we just talk about that for like a good couple of minutes. Be like, but you ever think of doing the show again? I'd be like, yes. But where we gonna have it? Because Bistro gone, you know? Yeah. But trust me, I think if we was to do that show again, we would do that different. But man, I would consider that another experiment. I can be real with you because that is the one experiment I feel like that made me realize that Bahamians just really ain't into nothing like that. They just be like, if they be like, oh, if y'all had one show, I'd call it. Like we had one. Well, where it was downtown. Well, how much y'all charging? It was free. Well, where y'all had it? Well, where y'all at in Bistro Underground. Man, I don't go down there because like.
That's why I say one.
Y'all should have had it in Crystal. I was about to say Crystal Valley. Y'all should have had it in Atlantis or something like.
I mean, that's almost like how the Geek Out is, and I had to encourage Ashley and Ed to. Because they were suffering, they're as close to suffering for burnout. And I was like, babe, stop doing this every month.
Every month, yeah.
Do it like couple of times a year. Yeah. And that's what they switched to. Yeah. Off of that, I was like, wait, because go ahead. Because if you keep on doing it every time, the tenden's gonna drop. But if you spread it out, it's like you build up interest and then it's gone.
This is the last one.
This is the last one.
Yeah.
Like how it's like 3 gigs gone. There's only 2 more left for the year, and we only in things. So if you
miss 2 more left for the year,
yeah, only 2, and then you're gone in December. But it's like you miss it too. That's it. So you don't have to go through the stress of people start coming. It's like, but you missed it. That's your, you know. Oh,
that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. So now I understand because when I went to, I saw you. Yeah. I passed there, but before I go into work, and man, and there was back out. Yeah. I was like, yo. Okay then.
Yeah, because it's like, when you see videos in park, when the next one? Ain't on this one? No. When the next one? In July? Mind the flip. Okay, gotta be, okay, July come in July. When the next one is? October? Wait, that's a long time, bro.
That's Halloween, right?
Okay, in October, when the next one is? January? Motherfucker. Like, so it's like, wait.
We haven't gone condo.
Yeah.
When that is?
In December.
December.
Yeah. So it's like, it builds up an anticipation because if you let's say a karaoke night or let's say a Bahamian artist performing like Soundwaves or whatever, they used to do from Soundwaves frequently too before the pandemic. But when they first had the first Soundwaves festival at same place when it was Philosophy, packed right out. More packed than the last one that was there. But yeah, you get one of those once a year.
Yeah.
You get a full fest once a year. You get a Jollification once a year.
You get Greek Fest once every 2 years.
So when they come around, anticipation, boom, you miss it, that's you. So that's what I figured out about RV.
I like that idea.
That's why
that sound like something that needs to happen.
That's the real reason why I don't put out an episode for Erryting Kool every week. Because I know the base, you get 2 a month, if that. I ain't cut down on that. I just put up whenever I feel like you get a 2 of a cartoons once a month. Because I'm like, okay, I know the people who listen to this. Y'all ain't consuming it heavy, so I'm about to make it rare. Less word than me.
I kind of feel the same way because in terms of like some of the things that the content that I put out now, I mostly put out my gaming videos now because it's the easiest thing to make. I can just put them out and I do them like I give out 1 a day. If I feeling froggy, I'll do 2 a day. But I'd be like, all right, once a day, and I have to take that one video that I sent out. I have to edit it. Well, not edit it because I just cut.
Aspect.
Throw some. Yeah. No, I have something in OBS that I just touch a button and a clip. It goes backwards to 2 minutes of like if something funny just happened in the stream. I touch it and it go back like just 2 minutes back, and I could just find wherever that funny section was, cut that piece out and throw away the rest and then put that down. And it's already cut in the ratio for vertical content. I was like, yeah, I good for that.
I like that transition. Now let's get to the streaming because we want to know how to make this online money, how to get this international fan base. Because I didn't get about someone going on streaming with the Jesse Salma stuff, but I'm like, guys do too much things already, so I gotta figure out how to slot it easier. But tell me how you get into the streaming, because I was seeing your TikTok with the stream, but I didn't know the effect of it until I came to what's it? What they? It was a Smash Brothers gaming tournament.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, and I saw it and I was like, oh, and I guess because I saw Cam and what's my Richard name? Who runs the Bahamas Gaming Federation? I can't remember his name.
Well, you see now I get him.
Yeah, Michael.
I'm a guy.
Yeah, I'm a guy. So I see in there.
Thank you, nameless guy.
So Michael, I say watching him and Cam set up smoking. Okay, they got this set up right here. They have the headphones, so even though it's like a little like delay or whatever, I see y'all stream, and I'm like, all right, I can put this on my bucket list to go dive at it. So how did you get into streaming and seeing, that as a viable source of income?
I got into streaming because the pandemic was happening and I was broke.
Wow.
That is the hard and fast everything.
Nah.
I had already owed my landlady like well over $3,000 in rent.
Wow.
And NIB wasn't coming through yet. So I was like, all right, let me try to see if I can make some money on. I first started streaming on Facebook because Facebook had a gaming platform. I didn't want to do Twitch yet because I thought I kept hearing some horror stories about Twitch, and I was like, not yet. Not yet. But Facebook gaming didn't work out. But because of me streaming, because people knew me, people just sent me some money. I was like, all right, well, I appreciate that. But I started playing games. Then I had the idea, why don't I just, I'm a balloon artist. I can just do balloons on my stream. So I started doing like a gaming section and a balloon section and play a little bit more games or whatever. That's what I do. And then I found found that during streaming it helped me play the games that I always like have on my library to play but never play it. So I just have those times to play those, and it was after that I moved from Facebook to YouTube because I wanted to try. I had gotten like a certain amount of subs on YouTube, and I was like, all right. But then I found out that you couldn't. You couldn't get monetized because you have to be in an eligible country, and the Bahamas wasn't in one. Now, mind you, this is something I'm still struggling with now, like to figure out, because on one hand, I can see on the site of YouTube that it says that you aren't in an eligible country, but on the other hand, I got Bahamians telling me that they getting paid from YouTube, and I'd be like, how are y'all doing that if they say that we ain't an eligible country? Now, either they lying and they gotta fix that on YouTube, or y'all doing something that y'all ain't supposed to be doing. Because I mean, there's people who go so far as to like get a U.S. address or use a U.S. Or have a U.S. bank account, and I'd be like, it's cool you have a U.S. bank account, you know, but you have to understand, you gotta pay taxes on that money.
Yeah.
So if you ain't up to date on taxes on money, the IRS coming for you, babe. Like, they don't care if you live in Nassau. They will call you, and you right there big and bold on Facebook taking pictures and doing things and whatever. They can find you. They'll message you. They'll call you. They can email you, and then they coming for you. Because Uncle Sam wants his money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just had a friend. She's a lifestyle and travel blogger, and she told me she got monetized on Instagram, but she had to pay a lawyer for all the fees, so for the taxation and to get the money cleared and doing all these things. And that's like, yeah, you need to send me that thing.
Here's the fun thing now. So when I moved to Twitch, in the first week of me streaming on Twitch, I got affiliate, which means you can now get paid from Twitch. So I get paid through PayPal, but what they have is they have a form that you fill out to say that you are not living in America. Therefore, they take the taxes out of the money before they give it to you.
Twitch does?
Yes, Twitch and Amazon, because Twitch is on my Amazon now.
Okay.
But you fill out two forms. You fill out one for Amazon and you fill out one for Twitch.
Okay.
You give them out, and then you link your PayPal. Then you have another form you fill out. You be like, this is to say that I don't live in the States. So I don't have to pay taxes. People are gonna be sending me money, but that's it. I don't live in the States. You have to prove it. You have to take I think you have to take like a passport photo or something, or maybe I use my NIB. So I did that, and then like within a couple of minutes, you'd be like, all right, cool, let this be set up. So now when people subscribe to me on Twitch get their cut, Amazon get their cut, I get mine, and that's it.
So when you,
I don't have to worry about paying no taxes on it.
So with PayPal, do you you use Fidelity or
to get the money out?
Yeah.
I use Commonwealth Bank. I started with First Caribbean because I looked up a video again. There were a lot of people learned so much stuff during the pandemic. During the pandemic, I found out that First Caribbean, you could get your money out of PayPal, and there was this woman, I don't remember her name, but her video is saved in my video, saved on YouTube. I could share it to you, but she shows you how to link your bank to PayPal so you could take your money out. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So after they did that, within like a month after watching that video and me having First Caribbean and being able to take my money out of PayPal, then the bank that I actually was with before I opened up a First Caribbean account, Commonwealth Bank, they started doing it. I was like, well, mothers.
Because Chris was just telling me, because I was just telling him I was having problems with PayPal this week, and he's like, but I have Commonwealth Bank and Commonwealth Bank is doing it. I was like, I heard about that, and then I heard about Fidelity too. I
don't know about Fidelity.
Not Fidelity. First Caribbean.
First Caribbean does it, yes. First Caribbean was the first one that I found out did it. Commonwealth Bank now does it. So I'd be like, okay, cool. All you gotta do is follow the steps in the video, and that's it. Like that's all you gotta do.
Yeah, because that's always been. And I remember on the show on Beyond the Headlines, which I produce, Cassius always say like how the Bahamian government and the other big entities sort of limit the ways we can make money. Because it's like, bro, if we can sell a product, we always talk about we importing a bunch of stuff, but we can export our different IP, whether we read online books and things like that, and we can't get paid for it.
Exactly.
Because all this red tape.
Exactly.
So it's like...
You preaching to the choir, babe. Oh my god.
You sound like you have a story to share, man.
No, but I have several. I have so many times I'd be like, babe, like there'll be instances like where like I will, for the longest time, and this is before I found out about the Commonwealth Bank thing, I was like, how do you get money off of PayPal? Like why aren't we using places like PayPal to like pay like for certain things? Because in the States I could take my phone
and Cash App and
I could just we have a Cash App. We have this Canoe.
Yeah, Canoe. I have Canoe. Canoe and Sun Cash and Omni.
Cash App actually works in Obama's now.
Cash App works in Obama's now? You lying?
Yeah.
When did this start?
It's happening this month.
Oh,
no
okay.
man, you lie.
Yeah.
So it's still through the same Commonwealth
How does it
Bank?
work?
I think you gotta use Commonwealth on the first Caribbean.
All right, say no more. Commonwealth Bank or First Caribbean, I get an account.
First Caribbean is taking 3 months to be a account. So.
First Caribbean?
Yeah, it's taking long.
No, I already have my. To open it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I straight. What I can do? I can have First Caribbean. See, I ain't got no money in First Caribbean because since PayPal is doing now, I'd be like, I don't need like since Commonwealth Bank is doing now, I'd be like, I don't need First Caribbean. But you know what? This is what I can do. I can take Cash App and I can put that on for whatever I put down on Cash App, you be like, cool, I can stay right there.
Hello, why they 3 months though?
You gotta set it to.
That's weird.
You gotta set it to Trinidad or something.
To Trinidad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that's where the headquarters is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Commonwealth Bank, y'all about to see me soon, eh? Cause I need to get to this bread, bro.
But no, I just tell everyone, I just be like, babe, you know,
by a console like years ago.
Yeah, they've been trying to get me the game. But you don't got a game, bro? You listen that like. Okay.
Hey, I just be saying, I be like, babe, I hate, one of the things I hate coming back here from the States for doing is that I just get so used to paying for stuff on my phone. Like just coming like boop and then that's it or whatever.
When you need the ATM, gotta go to the ATM.
Like it'd be like, dude, just scan it. Like you could tap your card and do it. And we have them now, thank God. But Jesus, finally. Man. And then like I just be like, boy, I have to go back. Like, send me the money or send me. I can send you on PayPal. I have it on PayPal. Like, cool, it is. But man, now I have to go back to people. Like, and don't get me wrong, I am not, and I can say this with the camera on my face, I am not one of those people advocating for the end of cash. Okay? I understand that in certain situations, cash works. I am not saying that. What I am saying, however, is that we still need to progress forward because it can't stay this way just because we in the Bahamas where everything's supposed to be sunshine and sunshine and sea or whatever for them, it ain't for us. That don't mean we can't push forward. That's all I'm saying. I am not saying we get rid of cash. I'm not saying that. I know it probably will happen eventually. I don't think it should happen in my lifetime. Or maybe even the next generation. But eventually it probably will. But at the same time, I think we should still progress. Like now this one telling me Cash App works up here. If that becomes a thing, oh my God. Was that in the news? I need to know. That wasn't in the news?
Same thing with the PayPal. PayPal somewhere.
But people don't. That's the thing. Why don't give this info? And that's the thing. Like people will make a video about that. Bohemians will make a video about it, and no one will know about it. When I saw the video on how to do the thing with PayPal, like I found the woman who made the video, and I was like, yeah, someone told me that you know how to do the thing with PayPal, and she's like, my God, I put that video up so long. See the link here? When I look at the video, that video's like a year old or a year and something. I was like, well, my doors. It's been up this long.
I don't even want this one, to be honest.
So I can't believe that because there's no way you about to really get me to believe that the Bohemian government has some kind of ties with YouTube to tell them to make sure that the algorithm doesn't show us. That'd be some.
No, but even YouTube is different for us than it is in the States. Cause
that's what they're doing in every country.
I use a VPN. I use a VPN, right? And I just watch it on YouTube, and I just see all these ads. I just like, wait, where this happen? So I cut the VPN off, and I'm on the Bahamian YouTube.
No ads.
No ads.
No ads.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's one thing is missed. That's one thing is missed, boy.
Yeah.
Like that's one. Like when you go to the States, that's the only thing I just miss. Not having ads.
Yep.
I'd be like, oh my god, every 5 minutes.
Every 5 minutes.
I got your ad blockers and things. So I don't even have to.
Ad blockers don't work on YouTube.
No.
They don't.
I can't remember the last time I seen an ad on YouTube though.
Because we don't have any. We don't have ads. We do not have ads. There's no ads that panded us. Like they don't. There's no reason for us to have ads because all of the ads are there.
Stuff,
you know, the only ads that come is like Bahamian ads, like at the beginning of the video, and that's only if you turn your ad. If you turn the ads on. If you don't care about that, then it's whatever. But we don't get ads.
Wow. So you started streaming. So you started the balloons. When you got into the gaming element of it,
I always play video games. I love playing video games. I used to get in trouble for playing video games.
No, I'm talking about like when you started streaming with the games.
Oh yeah. That's how I first started. I first started with video games, and then like I put the balloon element into it, and then when I did on Twitch, what I have now. Like I keep adding things to it, and I try to make it as interactive as I can. Because one of the most interactive things that I have is okay. Let me start at the beginning. I have one of my friends found this website where this guy made a timer that goes off at a random time. Like you set the parameters. If you want it to go off within 3 hours, it'll go off anywhere within that 3 hours. So you don't know when it can go off, and neither do I. So I have that going off in the background. So while I'm playing the game, no matter what I'm doing, if the timer goes off, I have to stop and I gotta make a balloon. And I've had so much funny shit happen. Like there was one time I was in the middle of a boss fight, like literally, and the timer went off. Like he was like this close to dying. And I was like, it was crazy. A lot of funny things has happened with it. So I just be like, all right, cool. That gives it an element of fun to it. And then I also have you I don't know if this could show my age. I don't know anyone knows the show Pee Wee Herman like that. Pee Wee Herman.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar.
Is the skinny dude with the gray suit, red tie, skinny white dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had a TV show, and I think it was a kid show, and it was he had this thing with a secret word. So if anyone said the secret word, everyone was like, oh, you know. So I got a soundbite of that happening, that oh, you know, and I edited it in the stream. So now I have a secret word, so people could be typing and talking in the chat, but if they hit that word, then it goes off, and now the person who got the word they could now stop me from playing or make a balloon, and they can tell me whatever they want me to make. And then I have like a Discord where people could put their suggestions for what they want me to make in the Discord, like with balloons and stuff. And then like I either pause the game after the timer goes off or someone gets the word, and then I just have an area where I just make the balloon that they want me to make or whatever. No. That'd be the fun part.
So because I watch clips of streamers on YouTube, but I don't know how people just do a 4 or 5 hour stream.
But when you play it, time does go, babe. Man, when you playing a game that you like, time does go. And what I want to start doing a lot more of now, after I finish Elden Ring, I want to do a lot more of those indie games, because I find the fun is in those, because I had streams on, I think I have them on Facebook. I have to find a way to get them off of Facebook and put them on YouTube, because I had streams where I was playing like games that you could like finish in like a day or like a couple hours, and some of them were really good. They tell really good stories, and one of them I definitely want to play is one called Grease. I think it's pronounced Gree, but it's a beautiful looking video game, and it's like this lady, like made out of watercolor, and the purpose of it is like she's going through the 5 stages of grief, and you learn about that in the video game. One of the best games that I've ever done, and I think I love this because of what they did with the technology of it, and the lessons that were learned in it, was playing Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It teaches about mental health. You're playing as this woman who has psychosis, and this why I love this so much was because of how they introduced what the sensation is. Like, they used everything in technology to get this to work. So when you play the game, the first thing you see is that you're encouraged to play this with headphones. You don't have to, but you're encouraged to do so if you want the full experience. So I got a pair of headphones. Got a pair of headphones, put them on. So she suffers with psychosis, so she hears voices in her head. While you're playing, you're hearing the people whispering in your ear and like talking and saying different things. Sometimes they shouting, sometimes they crying, sometimes they saying different things. But it's like, wow, like, is this what people with this problem actually go through? It's fun. It's crazy, you know. And that was eye-opening for me. Like, and I learned that in a video game. And I love that video games can be used as tools to like help people learn things. And that was one of those aha moments for me. I really enjoyed that. And it made me like, I have a video now on YouTube where I talked to I think his name is Dr. Emmanuel. I can't remember. I think that's his name. There's one doctor. He's a psychotherapist, and I spoke to him, and I spoke to my life coach, Stanya Davis, and I told him about the game, and we did a video. Like, I talked to them about like how mental health is looked at in the Bahamas and stuff like that, and like how avenues like a video game can actually help people to understand like what it is. And I think more people need to play that. I think a lot more people need to. That way they'd understand that, like, these people, you can't just be calling them crazy, but this is actually something that's going on with them. You know what I'm saying? And man, like, that was eye-opening, like, really. And I think I'm glad that I actually got to play that and stream it. It was fun.
That's amazing. So what you think is the future of streaming, the future of being a magician, what's the proper term of people who use balloons and create?
Balloon twister.
Okay,
Balloon artist.
The future of a balloon artist.
In terms of magic, I just want to keep doing the things that I'm doing right now. I wish me and Chris could do a show again. I would wish one of my biggest wishes was to like
maybe something like when the port finish. That might be a great location.
Maybe, but we'd have to be indoors and thing. My biggest dream was to like buy someone's bar and just have a magic show there like every night, you know, and like. No, well, not every night, like every other night. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd like do the same thing Amy did. Like, just have it open to whoever want to use it. Like the stage area, like I'd have a stage, I'd have like all sorts of stuff. That was one of the things I would want to do. Like, just buy someone's bar. And I don't want to rent the bar. I want to buy it. I don't believe in renting stuff. The only thing I pay rent now, and that's only because I gotta live, but I would buy that and I'd live upstairs. That's what I would do. I would pay them. Like, this is my building. I paid money for this. This is the deed. This is everything in my name. Cool. I could live upstairs. That's what I would want to do. But man, I don't know, babe. But in terms of like doing balloons, I'd still do the same thing I'm doing. Still, like, get a couple more restaurants maybe, or just, you know, keep at it all the time, because I like going to conventions. I have fun at the balloon conventions. I would love to. I want to win one of the awards. I want to win either the 3-minute one or the 12-minute one. I want to do one of those. So if I could win one of those, I'd be happy. But we'll see. I'm still gonna go to conventions. Still gonna see all my balloon friends and stuff. And in terms of like streaming, I have ideas of where I want to see that go.
Would you ever go to Rumble?
Rumble?
Yeah.
What's Rumble?
No, Rumble, like that's another streaming platform, but a lot of behind Twitch users.
No.
Okay.
Nah, I don't want to go to. I don't like going in places to become echo chambers. You know what I'm saying? I'd want to like. I have this thing about myself where I feel like I have to stand out against everything else. That's what led me to everything that I've done in my life. I've done in my life. I became a magician because I wanted to stand out. I didn't want to do the same thing everyone was doing. I became a balloon artist. Same reason. I started streaming on Twitch and trying to find ways to make money around it because I wanted it to be easy and accessible or whatever. And I also wanted to stand out. I did not want to. I didn't want to do the same thing, and I want people to like understand that these are things that you can actually get done. You can't actually do these things. You just have to do the work, and it requires some work. It requires a lot of work and some self-discipline, and you got to be able to like ground yourself and whatever. But it's a journey, and you should appreciate the journey for what it is. And the end result is just you becoming better, I guess. That's the only thing I can say. I think the end result is just you becoming better.
Do you think streaming would be easier if you had like a team around you? Or
I think it would, but I have my friends who help me. I wish I had like people who could actually have time. I don't have the money for a team because you have to pay them people, and trust me, if I was making the money, I'd gladly do that. But I would much rather, like, if I was to have a team, I would much rather it be my friends than just people who I pick up to be my team. I'd rather, like, one of my friends would be like, oh, well, I know how to edit videos, or I know how to do this, I could just play on games with you, and I could be your moderator, and whatever. I want us to, like, be that, and then, like, I have enough I make enough money to, like, give them a little something. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would rather. I don't want people who I don't know doing all this stuff, because then it becomes like it gets boring to me then, because then there's so many expectations. Just like how you said earlier, you were saying that you was doing these. I think you was doing something, and you was like, it would become
I was doing everything like the podcast and becoming a chore. Like,
I don't want it to be a chore. And the second I feel that me streaming on Twitch becomes a chore, I probably won't do it anymore.
Oh, you take a break? You
could take a break from something.
Yeah.
It don't matter how long that break could be. If it can help you in the long run, like it keep your mental and in a good place, take as long as you need. Get back up on the horse. Don't stay off the horse, but still take as long as you need until you feel like you're ready to get back on. You know what I'm saying?
And with that, thank you, Mary, but more so Magaso, the Behemoth Deku. Bro, you should write a whole comic like, yo, I took this word. It was meant for bad, but I turn around for good. That's a whole Sunday sermon.
I just
but we gotta thank Magaso for coming again.
Thank you for having me, man. I always wanted to do this.
Yeah.
I love
you. You didn't see it
podcast.
enough on TikTok?
Yeah, I see it on Instagram mostly. I see it on Instagram the most. I just be like, yeah, all right. I just always be looking at it, be like, oh, y'all just be talking all types of cool stuff, man. Like all of the anime stuff and thing. I just be like, yeah.
So this is where we sort of kick it, obviously. Since because he made me just realize a lot of the guests live close nearby the Chosen Fruit Studio.
Yeah, like so, I look on the map 3 minutes away. I'm like, wait, for real?
Yeah.
It's right.
We soon gonna have like a whole, probably when I get to 100 episodes, have a bunch of everybody come. And I could give a speech, and then we do like, have a montage scene, like everybody.
How you do it now? So you can cut it on the video. How you be like?
I have somewhere everybody just come through, take pictures or something like that. So
that'd be good. That'd be good outcome.
That'll probably be in the next few months when we grow up. We got this episode. This should be episode 90. So we
just let me know when the party is. That's all.
All right. So we got 8 more episodes. 8 more episodes. No. We got 9 more episodes until 100. So probably around October time, my birthday, we can see. So until next time, thank you again, Magaso, for coming on the show.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate the knowledge and having your time.
Always,
And
man.
You might see me on the streaming street soon.
Yeah,
You can see after I come from these cons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you say you're going away to
Yeah, I'm
conventions.
gonna go in the MomoCon and this month, and then I'm
Stay
gonna
away
blur.
from Momokun, babe.
Used to
Stay away. Stay away from that woman, babe.
What woman?
Momokun.
Oh, I will see next time. Cool. But thank you again for coming to join us, sharing your information and your story. And we out. ASU.
Take it easy.